Welcome to the 3D Ghost universe, a place dedicated to 3D creation and 3D printing. In this video, I will talk about what is a 3D object and what is a 3D printable object, because it's not because you are seeing an object on the screen that you will be able to print it. Before launching any software and trying to create your own 3D object, I highly recommend to you to spend a few minutes into watching this video to understand the structure of a 3D object and how it works in a software and on your screen to be finally something that you will be able to print or to animate. For the beginning, we will talk about the structure of the object. In order to explain it to you, I will go to the Microsoft library and I will search for a cat. You will see many cats. I will take a very simple one with low poly. It means low polygons. And then you can watch it into a wireframe mode. In this mode, you will be able to see all the polygons that are built together in order to form a 3D object, and most of the times those polygons are triangles, and that's exactly what you are seeing in the screen with a number of triangles that are building our cat. And this cat is considered a low poly cat, a low poly object, because you don't have so many triangles. Right under the triangles line, you have the vertices line, and the vertices are represented by points. A point is a vertex, one vertex, few vertices. And the three vertices are completed the triangle. This is basic geometry. So as you can see in this example, you have a triangle, three vertices, and three edges that are links to the vertices. So we can say that vertices are points, edges are lines, and the concrete triangle between the edges, between the vertices, is called a face. So in this example, you have a face, three vertices, and three edges. And you have to remember that because this is the structure for a polygon. You will always have a face, and around this face, vertices linked by edges. And finally, the last thing that you have to remember is that all the triangles are forming a 3D object, and we are calling that a mesh. In order to perfectly illustrate what I'm saying about vertices, edges, face, a mesh, I'm switching to Blender just to illustrate my point. What you are watching now is a simple cube, a 3D object that we call a mesh. And this mesh is composed of many vertices, many faces, and many edges. At this point, you are probably asking yourself, what can I do with that? What can I do with the face, with an edge, with a vertex? It's simple. You can do everything you want. You can move them, you can delete them, and it will change the shape of your object. As you can see, I just opened the box by deleting a face. Now I can grab a vertex, move it around, and it will change the global shape of the object. This is not a cube anymore. So you can play a little bit with the vertex, and now you will have a different shape and an object. Maybe this object is okay for you, but the problem is that it's now an open object because you deleted a face. No problem, you can create a new one. And now it's a full object, a full mesh, with no opening. I just say no opening, okay, but you understand that inside of the object, there is nothing. You have faces around nothing inside. What I'm saying is that the object is all hollow. You don't have anything inside. So if you deleted a face, you can see totally hollow. But when you created the face, you cannot see the inside, but you have to remember that it's hollow. It's not important for rendering, for a picture, for animation, but it's very important regarding 3D printing. In order to illustrate that, I will open a new cat in the Microsoft library into 3D Viewer. So you see the cat, it's a big mesh, it's completely round, so it's not anymore a low poly mesh because you have a lot of triangles, as you can see, a lot of triangles, a lot of vertices. It's now a nice round cat. Let's take a look at the front face of the cat, and I will now try to go inside the cat. And as you can see, the mesh is everything outside, but inside the cat, it's an hollow object, like a tunnel. Once again, it's perfect for picture, for rendering, it's good for animation, but for 3D printing, you have to understand that a printable object is something that will be filled in order to have something inside the object. So, with this kind of mesh, a round mesh, no opening, even if it's hollow inside, it's not a problem, because when you will print, the software that will do the job will fill the cat, will fill the object, and it will be okay. So this mesh is what we can call a printable object. A printable object such as the first low poly cat that we discovered at the beginning of this video. Here you can watch how your 3D printer will print this cat from the bottom to the top and with an infill inside the hollow object. And now, to quickly illustrate what is not a printable object, we can talk about this box, because as you can see, the faces around don't have any thickness. This is like a paper thick. So your 3D printer will not be able to print something without any thickness. But don't worry, we will talk about this in some specific videos. For this example, Cura will print a cube and not a box, because without any thickness around the object, Cura will decide to print a cube. For the moment, the only thing that you have to remember is that it's not because you are seeing a box that you will print a box. And when we are talking about something that the printer will not be able to create, we have to talk about the texture. Obviously, the texture of the 3D object is everything that you can see on your screen that is built for the aspect of the object. I'm talking about the color, I'm talking about the reflection of a light, for example, as you can see on the cat. Without any texture, the cat is very simple. As you can see the faces without any aspect on the 3D object. But when you are activating the colors, also called albedo, then you will see the aspect changing. This is like an effect of painting around the 3D object. For example, on the screen you can see the 4 triangles that are painted in black. If you are asking yourself about how to paint a 3D object, this is simple. You can do that with Blender, you can do that with Paint 3D, with 3D Builder, and you will see that on future videos. But the point for the moment is just to remember that this is the aspect of the 3D object that your 3D printer will not print, because you are printing shape, you are not printing color with a 3D printer. I will now quickly talk about rigging. Rigging is creating a skeleton by adding bones to your 3D object, and when those bones are moving, your object is moving, so no rigging, no animation. And to illustrate rigging, I will simply go to the Microsoft library. I will look for a cat. This symbol means that you have an animation on the cat. It's a new one, you have an animation, and now we will be able to understand how this cat is moving. And the answer to the question is simple. This cat is moving because inside there is a lot of bones. And when the bones are moving, what you can do with Blender, for example, you can create bones and move them, then the mesh will deform and move. My explanations are very light, I know it, but this is not the point today. The only thing that I want you to remember is that after creating a 3D object, you will be able to create a little animation by creating bones, and it's not so difficult.